Hello everyone, we're back on the spotlight and we're in the morning after the aftermath that was Atletico Madrid, Manchester United, away in Madrid in the Champions League. The score was 1-1. So, let me get straight into this. What do I think of the performance, the verdict, and the player ratings? And so, the performance, first half especially, I don't think I've seen Man United have a worse first half than that in a long time. We've had some extremely bad ones versus Liverpool and City, but we can't pass the ball. It's an absolute shambles. And we can talk about certain players in this, but we've got our so-called best players in midfield today, Bruno, Pogba. They can't pass the ball to each other. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's like watching a Sunday League team. They're like allergic to playing the ball to each other. It's absolutely incredible what we was watching in that first half. And the second half didn't get much better. After we made the subs, I think Matic controlled the game. If you watched my video yesterday, I would have started Matic tonight. I think it's a game that he would have been quite happy to play 90 in. Yeah, they're aggressive, but they're not running full tilt. I.e., would have got hold of the ball, would have controlled it, passed it. The problem is with having Bruno and Pogba in the midfield is they both want to get the ball forward quick. They want to play the killer pass. Neither of them are possession-based. They don't want to keep the ball. And if we go onto the back four and the main talking point of the starting lineup, there was Lindelof at right back. I mean, in hindsight, he's done all right, Lindelof. To be fair to him, he's done all right out there, right back. Why is he playing at right back when Dalot and Wan-Bissaka were on the bench? My only opinion on this is that Ranić cannot drop Maguire. I think it must be because he's classing him as his captain and he does not want to drop the captain. If he weren't wearing that armband, there's no way he would be playing in that game last night. And Ranić after the game talks about, we played Lindelof in case we wanted to go to a 5 at the back and for his aerial ability. Well, if we're in the game and winning it 1-0 and you want it to go to 5 at the back, just start with 2 centre-backs and then you bring Lindelof on later in the game for a midfielder or a striker and go to 5 at the back. So I don't know what he's talking about. It's all about not dropping Maguire, in my opinion. And on the subject of Maguire, I mean, the goal, he gets spun, he gets left for dead with pace, gets beaten in the air. But let's not forget a minute before that, when the ball's bouncing towards our own goal line. He's in loads of time and space and he does that stupid header that gives them a corner. That's where the pressure started. They had that corner, stayed in our area, got another corner, and they ended up scoring. And that's all from Maguire. His uncertainty at the back, his lack of composure. Just poor. And that's not to do with his pace or anything, because he was in loads of time and space. That is just terrible. Play the way he gave that corner away, which brought the pressure on in the first place, which no one seems to mention. I mean, the result, a 1-1 away at Atletico Madrid is not a bad result. It'd have been a great result if away goals were still around. Do I trust Man United to win at Old Trafford? I think we should, but I would never say we will. It's a 50-50. I think we're probably 2 teams that are very similar at the moment. And I just quickly reflect on Ranić's comments after the game last night. How he's praising Anthony Elanga, a young lad's come in the team and the rest of the team need to look up to him. And they should take some spirit that Elanga's got and use him as a role model. I mean, how old's Elanga? 19 or something? You've got senior pros on hundreds of thousands worth millions of pounds and Ranić is telling them to use Anthony Elanga as a role model, to have fun on the pitch. You've got to be joking me, right? Ranić there is as good as buried them players. And I know Conte's been shouting and screaming lately about Spurs, but basically Ranić has just done what Conte's done in a nicer way by absolutely destroying some of the senior players at Manchester United. Looking forward to the next leg. I still think it's an open game. Atletico have been better away. United, you never know if they're going to turn up or not, but you would hope with the Old Trafford crowd that they'll get behind them and we could get on top of them. I'll predict that United probably will win the second leg. It'll be another tight game though. But hopefully I'll get round to that prediction when it happens. So I'm going to quickly go through the players and the ratings. I'm not going to dwell on this for too long. We all watched it with our own eyes. It was abysmal. So De Gea, average, he didn't really have much to do, did he? 6. Not got a lot to say about De Gea, really. So then we'll go to left back, which was Shaw, wasn't it? Yes. Shaw, shocking, in my opinion. Just another poor performance. I give him a 4. I mean, I don't know what else to say. What did he do? Absolutely nothing. Varane, the first 20 minutes of that game, Varane had a stinker. I think he come into the game a bit, but I mean, what are you going to give Varane? Average 6 at best, 5.5. I thought he was poor as well. Maguire, captain, sets the tone with that terrible header that I've already mentioned. Gets run off for the goal, even though it was a good header and a great cross. It's still his man. I'll give him a 3. Poor on the ball. And he gets marked down for being captain because we all know what a Man United captain should be. He's not one. Whatever you think of him as a player, he's not a captain. And then we had Lindelof at right back, who actually, considering he was playing at right back, out of position, shoved in there in front of 2 other right backs. I think he had an all right game. He was the best player we had tonight. So I'll give him 6.5, maybe 7, because he's playing out of position. And then we're going into the midfield, aren't we? So let's have a think who was in midfield. Fred, dreadful. 4. What can I say about Fred? He's passed it. If Fred has an 8 out of 10 game, he's passing still at 2 out of 10. So, I mean, if he ain't doing his running around, winning the ball back and giving it, what are you going to give him? 3 or 4? I'll go for a 4. I'll be generous. Bruno, assist for Elanga at the end. Giving the ball away way too much. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I don't mind him trying it in his final third when something's on, but he just gives his basic passing is so sloppy. I'll give him a 5 because he got an assist. I mean, that's probably been generous. Pogba never got in the game. Again, he's passing shocking, losing the ball in midfield constantly. I'll give him 4.5. Pogba, hooked. And I'm a Pogba fan, but he was terrible yesterday. I'll get on to Rashford. I could make a whole video on Rashford. My mates and whoever I talk about Man United to before I start this channel will tell you, over the last 2 or 3 years, I've been saying what everyone's now saying about Rashford, that he's a one-trick pony. He's a pace merchant in behind. If you put him in a team that are going to stand in front of him and he's got to play football, he's useless. Garbage. On the ball, when he's under pressure, loses it. Tries to dribble, just runs into people. Never makes a simple pass. Anytime he's in with 25 yards of the goal, he tries to shoot. for me, you have to compare Rashford to Raheem Sterling. They're of a similar age. Look what Sterling does for Man City. And yeah, I know he plays for Man City, but look at his runs into the byline, comes back out. He's always there in the box to score. He's rarely shooting from outside the area unless he's got a clean opportunity. For me, Marcus Rashford, he wants to play on the left-hand side for England. He's got Jack Grealish, who's flattered to deceive at City. And he's got Sterling, who tears it up on the left-hand side for City and England. He needs to have a long look in the mirror, Marcus Rashford, at himself. And I probably have a long look and study at Raheem Sterling and where he's gone. And Raheem Sterling's a Liverpool and City player, so I'm no fan of Sterling, but you cannot say that Sterling has not come so far from where he was when him and Rashford broke onto the scene. Rashford yesterday, I'd be generous at giving him a 2. Terrible. Awful. Sancho, very little of the ball. He tries to pass and move, but there's no one around it wanting to do it. He give it to the midfield to keep losing it. I mean, what are you going to say about Sancho? A 5, a 6, somewhere in that region? Really had nothing. Ronaldo, another one I could make a video on what my opinions of Ronaldo is. I won't go into it here too much, but Ronaldo's Ronaldo. What? He's fallen into Harry Kane trapper last season where he ain't getting nothing up front, so he's ending up on the halfway line all the time. And that's not his fault. That's the team's fault. They're not playing with enough width. They're not getting the ball in the box. Every time a cross comes in, it's nowhere near him, or he's one person in the box versus 5 defenders. I don't know what people expect of Ronaldo, but Cavani over the last couple of years, Martial, Rashford, Igalo, anyone else who's played up front and down the middle as a number 9 for Man United in the last probably at least 3 years under Ollie, but probably longer. Even Lukaku. Tell me, how many chances do we create for our strikers? Honestly, it's a joke. Mid-table teams create more chances than we do. We're a hit and hope team. Let's get around the edge of the area and have a pop shot. Let's hope that someone pulls a worldie out of nowhere. Ronaldo yesterday, verdict for me, a 5. So yeah, that's where I am with that result yesterday. I think it was an absolutely awful performance. Got the result, which is the good thing. We should be able to beat them at Old Trafford. So let's have a bit of positivity to end the video. Help me out, hit the like, favourite and subscribe if you stuck around for it for this long. We're just starting up here. Try and get some more content out for you. And yeah, let's hope we can do them at Old Trafford and get into the next round of the Champions League, because that's why we're all here, isn't it? It's why we want top 4. We want to be in the best competition there is, competing against the best. So let's go, let's have it. Let's take it to the next one. Let's put Athletic to the sword and let's get into the next round. So yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Do me the favours, put your verdicts in the comments, and I'll see you on the next video.